Or
Like,
Carl's Almanac.
yes, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a wonderful person and a wonderful mentor. So you're right. When I went to vet school, I knew I wanted to do something to help. But I thought I was going to be a pathologist. I really did. So I came to Minnesota, or I did an internship. It's going to seem a little bit odd, but I did an internship because I knew that if I were a pathologist, what I was going to see was animals when they were dead. So I needed to do an internship to really understand what they're like when they're alive so that I had that perspective of when they were dead. So I came to Minnesota and did an internship, and I was quite surprised that in the middle of my internship, Carl came to me and said, did I want to do a residency in internal medicine with a PhD? Well, the PhD sounded fine because I love education and I love that stuff, but I didn't know that I was really going to be a clinician. And then um, he came. I told him no. Of course, I really didn't know who Carl was at that time. He's this famous person, and I'm just this little intern, and I was, it's fine, and I didn't know him that well, but it'd probably been about 6 months since I had come here. And so then he came back to me a week later, and I was just shocked because he said, Jody, do you want to do a medicine residency with a PhD? And I told him no. And I guess he's not a person who often takes no for an answer. But he said, you need to tell me in a week because the University of Minnesota doesn't have a residency with a PhD and I have to create it. And I just thought, wow, this person cares about me. So it changed the way I thought about things. And we became friends. He became my mentor, and he also became a wonderful colleague. And it was a wonderful relationship. I've learned so much from him. I won't forget when I started lecturing outside of the university doing continuing education. And I used to really hate it. The wonderful part is that he brought me along and he pulled me aside one day and he said, Jody, what you need to think about is not how they're judging you when you lecture, but what you can offer them. And that just changed my whole perspective on how I saw that. And I saw that as an opportunity to offer help as opposed to thinking I was a know-it-all or all of this other stuff. It was a whole different perspective. Again, what it taught me to do is not only provide consultation, but it also taught me to listen and listen to the audience. And that's interesting because only by listening to the audience, I developed this procedure called voiding neural hydropropulsion, which was a way to remove stones in seconds instead of spending lots of money, time, and invasiveness with surgery. Because one day someone asked me, why do people form stones in their kidneys and dogs form stones in their bladder? And of course, growing up in a household of males, I assumed it because we stood up to urinate. Not females don't stand up to urinate, but males do, and that just kept everything in line. So any stone that came down from the kidney went right out of the urinary system, so it didn't grow in the bladder of a person like it grows in the bladder of a dog.